My final question, Chief Secretary, in terms of HR, we're looking at, how can we boost the HR, because we're looking at 60% being employed with the THA versus the 20% that's in the public sector in Trinidad. How are we looking to make sure that we bring back the diaspora who has left and develop them to the point where this is a place they want to stay and to grow the island in terms of the human resource?
Well, about three things. So sometime on Thursday, I'm hopeful I will get the numbers so I can point out in very specific terms what our numbers look like in terms of employment across the island, as in what that number looks like, what 60% really looks like in terms of numbers. And more so, I will also look at how much we have employed since January 1, 2022 to present. Because if we are saying that such a gargantuan percentage of our population being employed by the states is an economic challenge, is not sustainable, I'm afraid that we too are guilty of contributing to that. But coming out of COVID and having to govern immediately post-COVID, then that became a necessity as opposed to a choice that we had. And so now that we are at this place, it's about how do we grow the private sector that it becomes so advantageous to the average citizen that they desire to work there because they feel as though that is much more sustainable for them and that they have a measure of security there. That's what Tobago does not have. We do not enjoy the benefit of a large enough private sector that people will take as an option working in the private sector as opposed to working in the government. Here in Tobago, the THA is the largest spender, the largest builder, the largest owner, the largest everything. And that's not necessarily the most sustainable. I know Tobagoans don't want to hear that because we would prefer that we all just get a government job and just continue with life as normal. But that is not sustainable. And no, we are not proposing just going to fire people and send them home. What we are saying is that we need to simultaneously build the private sector so that people have a choice. And I believe if Tobagoans have a choice, they will matriculate into a private sector that provides much more benefits to them. So that's where we are. And that's why we look at community tourism. Because if you look at community tourism, for example, it means that the average person with an empty downstairs now that they're just hanging up clothes in could box it up, fix it up nice, have it decorated nice, plant some beautiful flowers in the yard. Voila, they now have an earning capacity outside of the THA. It's why we're looking at mega farming. So regardless of the holdings you have as a farmer, if you plant or produce the right things, then there is an opportunity for you to earn. It is why, for example, we have looked at sport tourism and what that means, because sport tourism will force us to carry the activities to communities that will then generate other economic activities. Look at Dodds, one event in Shallaville, and people on one day can make more than they will make in an entire month or maybe an entire quarter. So all of these are geared towards making Tobagonians much more self-reliant. And yes, our support in areas like Pigeon Point and No Man's Land and so on is not that the THA wants to take over, but we want Tobagonians to have a dignified way to do business and that can compete with the rest of the world. And when we talk about generating prosperity, a part of that is getting Tobagonians to value themselves much more highly than we have. The average Tobagonian deserves more than just a THA work, more than just a morning walk, more than just a few minutes cutlassing. We deserve more than that. You should be doing more than that. You deserve to earn more than that. And how do we, from among our population, generate millionaires? And if it is the THA turning, 43, 44 years this year, we can say that we have generated a single business enterprise as an island that competes and puts the families that own it within the 1% of the country. It means that the THA across these 44 years have failed in 46 years. What are you in? 26, sorry. 46 years have failed in that regard. And so how do we push our people into that sort of limelight? I want to thank you all, thank Tobagonians. I want to again thank you for the overwhelming mandate you gave to us. You looked at how we performed the last 4 years. You decided we were the best of the options, and we are sticking to the plan that we campaigned on, that we told you that we will provide for you. We are happy that better and much more prosperous days are ahead, and we grind it out post-COVID. We grind it out through poor budgetary allocations from the central government. We are at a place where there are some visible fruits to our caucusing in Port of Spain, has resulted in an uptick in what we are offered from the national budget, and the people of Tobago can pretty soon see those benefits in their individual lives. Thank you very much. God's richest blessings, and may the best team win today and in the World Cup. Thank you very much.